fever bath is what we do to raise the body temperature about 3.5 degrees higher than where it began. And in doing so, we're giving the body a fever. The body's natural reaction to the fever is to multiply the white blood cells, which will kill the cancer cells. They also kill HIV, AIDS, lupus, Lyme, and so forth. White blood cells are what make up the immune system, right? So we're going to get this bathtub to about 110 degrees about here. In this particular case, we have a cauliflower tumor. It's covered with a waterproof band, but we still want to keep the tumor out of the water. So we're not going to fill this stuff as high as we normally would, maybe about here. I'm running this at full blast heat for starters, because I can always add cool water to cool it down. It's better to have more heat than you need. Right now it's coming out at 115, 16, 11. It's at 118 right now. So I'm giving it more heat than it needs. So that if we lose hot water, because you know hot water only stay hot for so long, we're not at 110 and only halfway full. We're at 118 and 120. So by the time we add cool water and it cools down to 110, we're at about the level that we need to be. If that makes sense. Amen? Okay. Alright. And so we put them in the tub, we check their temperature first, and then once we put them in the tub, we let them sit there until their temperature reaches 3.5 degrees. So if they're 98.6, which is your normal temperature, the average, what are we going to bring it to? We need to bring them 3.5 degrees higher.
How many degrees?
If they're at 98.6, which is your average normal,
99.
what do we need to bring them to? We need to bring them 3.5 degrees higher.
99.
So 98.6 is normal. We need to bring them back. We need to bring them 98.6
Says
is
3.5.
normal. We need to bring them up 3.5 degrees.
98.
Say it again. 98.6 is normal. We need to bring them up 3.5 degrees. What you say? Say it louder. 102.1. Ding, ding, ding. Whatever. So 3.5 degrees higher. So once she would get to that 3.5 degree mark, we would go ahead and start our timer. The first thing we normally do is about 20 minutes of her being at that temperature. 30 minutes the next day, 40 minutes the following day. And that's, we normally keep them at that 40 minutes from there on out. And we normally do this treatment about 5 days a week. And then every Friday, we take them in to get blood work, and we get to see the white blood cells increasing and the cancer markers decreasing and so forth. Okay? And we're just going to check this. Okay. And the cool, bring it down to about, we'll bring it down to about 112. We'll give her time to get dressed and get in here. So we may cool down a couple degrees by the time she's ready to get in. And so she'll sit in here until her temperature reaches the 3.5 degree mark. And then we'll not only start the timer for the 20 minutes, we'll do 20 minutes a day. And then we'll put the ice rag on her head as well to keep her from overheating. Okay? Once the 20 minutes expires, we then unplug the tub. And we're going to do tepid water. It doesn't have to be really cold. But tepid water over the right shoulder, which is opposite of the heart. A couple blouses of that. And then over the left shoulder a couple times. And then we're going to go over the head a couple times, and then we'll do a full body. And we're trying to bring her down to below 101, like 100.2 or something like that. At that point, she can stand up and go shower. And by the time she gets out the shower, she should be back to her regular temperature. It make sense? All right. Anybody have any questions?
What's the temperature of the water in the shower? It just,
Tepid. Yeah, just tepid. This needs to be less than what she's been sitting in, so the temperature will come back down. All right. And when you're doing a fever bath, you want to make sure that you never let the person go above 104. So even though like we want to reach, even though we want to reach 102.1 if her temperature was 98.6, naturally it'll go above that eventually. It might go to 102.5, which is fine. Even if it goes to 103, that's fine. You just don't want it to go above 104. If it does, you just give her a drink of water, and because this is an induced fever, this is not a real fever, meaning it's not like there's some virus or infection that the body detected and so a fever came on naturally. Because it's just an artificial fever, it'll go away, it'll go down right away. You just drink a glass of water.
cold water or warm or?
Cold, tepid is fine. Yeah, I mean, cool. Right?
How long is the shower?
2 to 5 minutes is enough, just to bring the temperature down. Because remember, by the time we let her get in the shower, she's already less than 101. She's like 100.2, 100.1. So by the time she gets in the shower, she'll be back in the 90s. And a couple minutes of that, she should be back in the 98 or less. Okay? And we're a little bit higher than I want to be as far as the level goes. I need to give myself some more heat, so I better come down more than I wanted to. And okay, so we're about set. We'll go ahead and let her get in, and we'll check her temperature first, of course, and then we'll do everything we just discussed. Amen?
So what is the water temperature right now?
It's about 107. I'm gonna bring it up in a little bit.
Are you going to be boiling water, adding it in, or?
No, not necessary. I mean, it just depends on where you are. Like if a person was doing this at home and they didn't have the best hot water heater,
Yes.
then yeah, a couple kettles on the stove to add hot water if needed would be, ideal.
But 106 is fine.
No, it's at 107. I want to bring it to 110. 110 by the time she gets in, but I can always do that just by adding hot water. I'm gonna unplug this and just let it come down just a little bit, because again, this is ideal for a person that doesn't have a cauliflower tumor.
Yes.
But since she has a cauliflower tumor, which is a fungated tumor, it's sticking out the breast.
Right.
We don't want that, and it's covered with waterproof bandages with Tegaderm, but we still just don't want to submerge it.
Right.
All right, and especially if we're going to be pulling a tumor, we don't want to get the poultice wet either, because once we put the pulling poultice on there, it stays on there until the tumor comes up. Okay. All right, everyone understand that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, any questions? All right, any questions? Okay. All right.